Hello and welcome back to the series. We're going to do a migration between on-premises Privileged Access Service and HyperScalable Privileged Access Service. This is a tabletop exercise. Obviously in production it's a must, but even when you're doing something like a lab upgrade, you want to do a sanity check to yourself. So I want to take the existing cluster, which is a Windows cluster, and I've already pre-provisioned some of the VMs I'm going to be using for HyperScalable PAS. But let's discuss functionality and some topics, and perhaps this can help you in your own lab migration. So in the previous video, we discussed the benefits of the new architecture. First and foremost, you need to identify the services that you have. In my case, I do identity consolidation, MFA, job boxing, shared scenarios, secret storage, client services, and AAPM services. My goals are to swap for a new architecture, preserve the FQDN so I don't have to make any changes. I want to be able to use standalone Windows machines because it's much easier for automation. Load balance the web layer, in my case using the DNS round robin, and document the process, which is what we're doing right now. In the future, I'm going to do a lot of automation, but it's much better to do step by step, especially when you're familiarizing with a new technology. So what I have here is a table with many of the topics that you need to figure out. Like, for example, will the FQDN be the same, or there's going to be a change? That's not possible because if you want to change it, you're changing the service name, so the installation is going to be different. So that's out of the picture. PKI, will there be a certificate change? I thought it was going to stay the same, but I realized that I ACLed the certificate based on Active Directory group memberships. So if I need to test this on standalone machines, that I need to make sure that I use a new PKI cert with a password instead. The next is, this relates to duration. Like in a production environment, the change control window, it's tight, especially for a system that does privileged access. So the events table, we want to make sure that we trim it. Most organizations in production have like the syslog writer, so we can trim it to like the last 7 days. Some of the discussions are for production here, but I have a Postgres database. I won't be building PLV8. I tried, but I failed. So I even have a video where there's a storage engine error because of PLV8. So I'm not going to deal with that. Cache, Redis, it's all going to be combined in one system. Load balance is going to be DNS round robin, but there is an implication. In the Windows failover clustering scenario, when you look at the cluster itself and the application, notice that this name is tied to it. So this IP address that we have within the service is managed by Windows clustering. In my case, there's going to be 2 web nodes. So this is going to switch to a DNS round robin. This means that I need to be able to free this DNS name. Let's see. In my case, I run in this environment. I have several environments, but I run in my oldest laptop with many VMs already. So I'm only going to have 2 web nodes, and that's what we're going to be playing for load balancing. I'm going to have a relay and a background. So those systems are already provisioned, and they're not domain joined. Tooling and sequencing, there's a lot of tools that are going to be used. DNS Manager, Cluster Manager, the on-premises PAS scripts, like backup and proven events. And the HyperScalable PAS management service has 2 scripts that are going to be needed to be run. So you want to make sure that you have an idea of the sequencing of things that are going to get done. I'll put this in the comments, this sequence here. as we publish the videos. People, no need to coordinate in a production environment. You want to make sure you have all the stakeholders, like database folks. They may be dealing with Redis as well. You want to make sure load balancing network people are involved. Change control, your SMEs. Important how to keep things running. That's more like a production topic, but you want to make sure that you have a strategy for privileged access. So, depending on this is tricky, right? If your strategy is only using a vault and a jump box, this is where you're in trouble. In my case, I don't have to worry about it because I can always send into systems using Centrify clients, and these privileges enforced as well. Rollback strategy, you always have to have one. So in my case, I have VMware snapshots. I have the old nodes that I can reactivate. I have the escrow. I have backups. And I have the host-based security. And then, what am I going to do with a cluster? I think I'm going to keep it around. But that's my tabletop exercise. In a real production environment, these are planning topics that need to be discussed.